Good evening, everybody. It's Thursday night, it's 7 o'clock, and it's time for Content and Cocktails. How has your week been? I can't believe it's Thursday already. I missed last week, unfortunately, as I was down filming with a client on Friday and had to travel down to stay with a friend the night before to be there, ready and waiting to kind of to be up bright and early. So, what's this Content and Cocktails all about? Well, this week we're going to be taking a look at live video. We're sort of starting the ramp up into the kind of my challenge, which is going to be happening in probably a couple of months' time. But it's I want to get you sort of thinking about live video in that run up to it. So, Content and Cocktails this week is going to be picking apart some of the practicalities of live video, some of the things that you can be doing to improve your on-camera presence, I guess. Things you can be doing to improve your tech setup. So we're going to be talking about lots of different things over the coming weeks. But first of all, because this is Content and Cocktails, if you haven't tuned into this before, what is this all about? Well, every week I basically come and spend an hour-ish talking about an aspect of video content creation, be it live content creation or pre-recorded. And it's a chance for us to dive deep into some aspects of it, and for you to ask questions of me, and whether it's questions to do with what I'm talking about or questions to do with video in general. That's what we're at, but I do it with a drink. At the moment, I am dry, so I'm not drinking at the moment. So what I'm doing is I'm going to make an alcohol-free version of my favorite cocktail. So my favorite cocktail of all time, my favorite alcoholic cocktail, is called the French 75, which is a sort of a lemon and gin, and I can highly recommend it as a drink to enjoy. First of all, if you're out there, let me know you're out there. Give me a comment, say hello, and let me know that you're sort of out and about this evening. Yeah, so the French 75 is my favorite cocktail, and dry just as a way to kind of get myself feeling fit and healthy. Give my body a break. So the French 75 is really it's one of those cocktails that is it's been around for a very long time, and it's kind of a classic. So but it is very, very tasty indeed. But I'm going to make an alcohol-free version. So we've got some alcohol-free gin called Clean G, which is actually very good, and some No Secco. So it's a bit of a cheat. So it's not a French 75, it's a Belgian 74. It's sort of adjacent to a French 75. So what we do, first of all, we get the shaker, and we are going to put a measure of alcohol-free gin, gin-ish, whatever you call it, clean gin. This stuff is pretty good, actually. I mean, I've been sort of, you work your way through these different ones, and so the truth is, some are absolutely revolting. So that's a measure of gin, and then we put a measure of lemon juice. So I've got a lemon. I'm just going to take a bit of peel off. So these are unwaxed lemons. Keep that for later. And I'm going to juice this lemon. So I often get asked when I'm doing the Content Cocktails, why Content and Cocktails? Why did it start? Well, it's kind of got an interesting history. So I knew I wanted to do a regular live show, and my friend Danny Wallace came down to stay with us in Plymouth, not long after we'd moved, actually, and we were sort of chewing over ideas, and I told the story of my this fact that I've got this cocktail book that my grandfather gave me. You know, you'll have heard me talk about this many a time if you're a regular. But there was that. We were talking about that, and you know, we sort of came up with this idea of combining something I enjoy doing, which is kind of I love food and drink, and so I thought, well, if I can combine my love of food and drink with my love of video, my love of helping people with video, then I'm on to a winner. Because for me, sorry, I'm just so you know, I'm juicing a lemon down here. So, you know, before I get any comments, evening, Bev, what a lovely surprise. It's Bev Cripps. Hello. I was just thinking about you earlier today, actually. I was going to send you a message. So I'm going to put the lemon juice into the no alcohol gin. So you put the lemon juice, the gin, and then a bit of gum syrup, and we mix that. Gosh, there's not much. Blimey, we're out of that, aren't we? Crikey, that's end of that bottle. Oh, there's just enough in that one. So good grief. Yeah. So there's enough in there. So there's a gum syrup. So the sugar syrup in with the alcohol-free gin, which sounds like water, herby water, which it sort of is. Then some ice. Then we give that a shake. And yeah, so I'd started that process of wanting to do a regular live show, and I wanted it to be something that I could repeat, that I knew that I could stick to. Because the one thing, if you take nothing else away from this life, the one thing I can promise you is that a lot of the success with video marketing lies in consistency. So I know that in order for me to do the best job I can with my content marketing, I have to make it enjoyable. I have to make it something that I enjoy turning up to, because I'm quite an easily disheartened person. I can sometimes take sort of knocks or sort of setbacks quite hard, and so I thought, well, you know, I want to make it enjoyable. I want to make it something that I can have some fun with. And so we came up with this idea of Content to Cocktails. And really, it's not much of a hardship turning up once a week to have a drink and talk to people you like about a subject you like. So this is no secco, this will either be the world's most disgusting cocktail or something actually quite palatable. But I guess that's the way it goes with these kind of alcohol-free ones. So I'm just straining off the lemony mixture. So with a French 75, if this was an alcoholic version, you'd be putting in a bit of the mixture in the bottom, and then you'd be topping it off with champagne. But in this case, we're doing it with no secco, which, I mean, it looks the part. Ooh. We'll see. The jury's out on this one, I can tell you. If anybody has any recommendations for some good alcohol-free cocktails, I'm all ears. Because there we go. Right, we'll see what this is like. So this is an alcohol-free French 75, or the Belgian 74, as we're going to call it. Cheers. I mean, you're never going to mistake it for the real thing, but as a kind of a thing that tastes a little bit more grown up than Schlur or Appletiser, it's not half bad. Cheers. So before we get on to, it is actually, yeah, it is. It's a very drinkable drink. I think, you would be, if you were served that at a party, you wouldn't be entirely sad. Yeah. Okay. So, live video. Why bother with it? Essentially, this is the question I'm asking. Why do we bother with live video content as business owners? I want to sort of pull back out for a second and get the big picture. If the purpose of marketing is to sell more stuff, or to give you more opportunities to sell more stuff, then a really important part of the marketing process is making sure people know about you, or know about your service, or know about your product. And there's no denying that we are living in a period of time where there are so many different ways you can market your services or your products, and it can feel a bit overwhelming, and it can feel that there's a lot of noise around, a lot of competition for attention. I think is the best way to sort of look at it. Scott MacArthur, I remember Scott sort of talking to me about an idea of, I think the phrase he used, this was a long time ago, he used the phrase the attention economy, which I really liked as an idea. This idea that we have a finite amount of attention to go around as human beings, and we are looking to buy a little bit of time off people, not necessarily with money, but with value. What we're offering up is value. And there are lots of different ways to offer up value. You can offer up the promise of value, or the promise of something, with kind of straight up what I'd consider to be traditional advertising, where you have you're using print or kind of TV advertising, whatever it is, as a way to gather somebody's attention for a moment and try and sort of buy a little bit of their attention. But what we're talking about here is kind of earning attention with a bit of value. It's a bit of an exchange. So we can do that in lots of different ways. Blogs are a great way to do it. But what we're talking about here is video content, and specifically live video content. So how do we use live video as a way to buy a little bit of somebody's attention, to trade for a bit of attention? And it's really in three different ways. So we are either promoting an emotional response, we are either promoting an educational engagement, or you're looking to entertain somebody. And if you can do all three, that's brilliant. So if we're looking at our content, and particularly live content, we've got to think, are we entertaining, are we educating, or are we causing an emotional response? And those are three sort of tried and tested, frankly, ways to get people sort of taking notice, paying attention. So if we look at video content, live video content, take this for example. What I am doing here is giving away for free some of the knowledge and know-how in my head. The 20 plus years of experience of video that is in here is being shared through this live video medium, and you are here watching it because for a number of reasons. Either you're a business owner and you're thinking, I wonder whether he has something of value to share with me, or you're somebody who's interested in cocktails, who's thinking, I'm interested in hearing about the cocktail that he's drinking, or you're here to, I don't know, throw rocks at me or something, come and troll me. You're here for a purpose, and this is the exchange we're talking about. I'm delivering up some value, and in exchange, I'm getting a bit of your attention. You're spending time with me, and what does that mean? So, with humans, we like to buy, we like to deal, trade, whatever, with people that we know, like, and trust. And all we're doing here, it's a process of getting to know you. Oh, Janelle, that's very kind. Like, thank you very much. That's lovely to hear. And you know what? I mean, your live content always makes my mouth water. It's food and drink is my thing. I think if I wasn't doing video, I'd be doing something to do with food, because I do love food so much, and drink. But it's an exchange. So the question I would ask you is what value can you deliver? What's your exchange? What can you give in your live content that people will value? Because this is the start of a journey. If people initially are sort of turning up for a bit of what they think is a bit of free value. Hello, Tom. Cheers. If people are turning up for a bit of free value, what's the quid pro quo? Because there is, however much you say it, there is always a quid pro quo. It might be that you get to, in exchange, the sort of unspoken rule of it is that you get the opportunity in your life to put out a call to action, and I would always encourage you to do that. You're looking to build a relationship that is reciprocal. If I was just here week in, week out, pumping out value and not sort of putting offers in here, it wouldn't be very good marketing. You'd know my face, you'd know what I was good for. But if I wasn't giving people things to do with kind of, or things to look at, things to engage with, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a product or a service. It could be go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I would encourage you to do. Go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're close to 500 subscribers. We are moving up. My goal for this year is 10,000 subs. We're putting on about 100 a week at the moment, which is good. I'm taking a new strategic approach with it, so which I'll be sharing, but only when I've reached my 10,000, because I'm testing and measuring something at the moment. But I'd be really interested to hear. So I know that some of you are already keen go-livers, and I'd be very interested to hear what your sort of what your plans for live content are. Because this is but if you are delivering value, you've got to have a plan behind it. Because what I see quite often, and this isn't criticism, by the way, because this is what I did for ages. I was very, very scattershot when I started out. First of all, I didn't really have I took a very firm content strategy with my pre-recorded content, but for some reason I didn't apply that rigor to my live content when I first started out all those years ago. And you just press the go live button and sort of cross fingers and go, gosh, I hope this works. You've never done. So I'd be really interested to hear, Tom, what's with live video, what is the bar? What's stopping you? Is it that you don't see the value of it for your business, or is it that you just don't like the idea? I'm always really interested. Now you see, I don't know who this is. So it says, I have given away too much in my lives. So this is a really interesting thing. It's a really interesting comment from Twitch has come through. Thank you for the comment. I will share it in a minute. It's Roberta. Hey, so I have, hello Roberta, really, really nice to have you here. So I think this is really interesting, because I think that very often we get told you can't give too much away. And I think to a certain extent that is true. However, you do have to be careful. So the way I gatekeep my content is that I have 10 core topics that I cycle through on roughly a 10-week basis. So, so those core 10 topics are the key things that are important to the people I talk to, my audience, if that doesn't sound too grand. And I've got those topics. Now you can cycle through those on a roughly sort of 2.5 month basis. And that means that you're always coming back to important topics, and you're always coming back to things in a way that is, you can put modifications on it so that there's a slight difference, so you're not just repeating the same lines. But if with that structure, you're never giving away everything. Although the reality is, if you wanted to, you could go back through every single one of my lives for the past 3 and a bit years, and you could get every single scrap of knowledge. But it would mean going through something like 150 hours of me rambling on. So I think it is, and some people say, "Oh, you can't give away too much." Ultimately, I think there is a certain degree of truth in that, but that doesn't, I think, apply to every single business or idea. I could give away everything, because frankly, if you wanted to, you could just go to YouTube and put all the pieces together. But what I offer is that I'm for my clients, I am the linchpin. I am the person who's kind of bringing all these disparate pieces of information together and delivering it in a way that is useful. I don't think I can give away too much. But if I was in and I know, Roberta, you're dealing with kind of menopause help. Hello, Alex. How lovely to see you here. If you're giving away that all of that information, what you can say is you can be very honest. I think you can say, this is a really important subject. I'll give you a few tips, but I think you can say, come over to my membership or subscribe to my subscription box, because I don't think you can, people don't mind you saying, if you want what's in my head, you've got to pay for it. But you can stop yourself giving away too much by planning in advance. So come up with that list of 10 topics that are of greatest import to your audience and just cycle through those. But also, when you're planning that out, you can, when you're planning your live content out, put the one point you're going to give away and say, and deliver that. That's the value. And then, because you've delivered a bit of value, you then get to ask. That exchange comes into play. You can then ask somebody for that. It's that reciprocation. Janelle says, I'm trying to do more lives, but I'm more on Instagram. Funny enough, Instagram is my real blind spot, and I'm working hard at the moment to put an Instagram strategy together that I can actually do something with, because Instagram should be a really important platform for me, but there's something about it. It does not hang together for me. So two challenges to myself in terms of marketing platform. One is YouTube, and that's going well. Instagram, I've got about 1,200 followers on Instagram. I don't know how that's happened, but it's quite a good, it's quite a good starting ground. It's actually very good, it's a good audience profile as well. So Instagram, I have to sort out. Alex says, I need to do more planned quick lives in my Facebook group. I do go live. It's always helpful stuff I say, and I do say something here, but it's not linked to my structured content plan, and it easily could be. This is it exactly. If you know what you've got, coming up on your calendar, so like I said at the start of this, I am talking about live video because I have an 8-week run-in to my challenge week. So my challenge launch is going to be happening in June, and this is the opening week. So I am talking about live video because I want people to be thinking about live video. And I'm happy to talk about the way I do things because I think it's, I don't think I'm fooling anybody. You all know what I do, what I sell. So if I'm talking about stuff, then it's kind of, it's because I want to deliver value, but I want to get you thinking about how you do lives, how you do video content. So yeah, like Alex says, it's not linking your live content to your structured content plan is really important. Bev Cripps says, I haven't gone live yet, as always record videos off the cup and upload. Really need to get that loose framework going for group. Will work really well with them. Yeah, this is absolutely. I mean, you've got such a great presence on camera as well, Bev. So it's and such a crazily deep knowledge. But you don't want to be giving away the sort of the house on your lives. You want to be taking people through some key learning points and helping them understand some key points, giving them some tips, and then sort of guiding people on that journey, whether it's downloading a free guide or something, or a low cost offer, or your premium program, whatever it is. You're using your live content to educate and inform, help people understand what they can do to improve these areas. So the positive psychology coaching, God, I mean, that's hugely important and hugely helpful to lots of people. So there we go. There's some food for thought for you. I'm speaking at I'm speaking at I'm sort of, it's a pre-record that I've done for an online God, I can't think of any of the information about it. I'm going to pull up my talking points. Hang on, I've got I sent out an email about the happiness. Bear with me a second. I'll just Professional Happiness Summit. So I'm speaking at Victoria Dio's Professional Happiness Summit. I have pre-recorded my content, and I would encourage you to sign up. It's a free event, and it looks like she has put together some incredibly experienced speakers. I'm in very august company, and I definitely look at it all and think, how have I ended up with all these, alongside all these people? But I'm very grateful to be alongside these people. But I'm just going to put some links in, so you can sign up through this link. It's free. It's not nothing weird about it. It's just a really good event if you're looking for some inspiration and some happiness in work. So I'll be sending out more emails about this because obviously I want to. Yeah. Oh, well done, Beth. Yeah, it's my face is going to be all over the place. Yeah, I've got there's some interesting stuff coming up actually that I'm involved in. So I've been very quiet for the last few months for a couple of reasons actually. First of all, coming back from Los Angeles, I really sort of hit the buffers. I think it's funny. It was such an intense experience that my sort of brain has taken a little bit of time to process and sort of come to terms with everything that's been kind of sort of coming out of that really amazing time out there. And it's been a very exciting sort of few months of trying to work out what the next steps are and how things are all going to shake out, but also very busy with work. So I've got some very exciting things coming up, and some interesting collaborations on the horizon, and lots of fun things to share over the coming months. But it's funny how these kind of things like the retreat is a good example of these kind of things that trigger all sorts of growth, unexpected growth in your life. So it's been a fascinating kind of few months since then. But yeah, we're ready to go. So we are starting the kind of the ramp up into the ramp up into the run into the challenge, and I'll be obviously sharing all the information about that. But yeah, in the coming weeks, it's going to be all about live video, because I want you to be thinking about live video, but also seeing it as a tool for business growth. Because for me, it's been such a hugely important part of growing my business. And it's because I've put together systems and processes to do that. We've got a whole bunch of exciting new developments around the courses coming up. So yeah, lots to share. I am going to call it a day here, because I've got I'm editing like crazy at the moment, so I've got a bit of editing to do this evening, and my brain works far better in the evenings, so I quite like sitting and editing in the evenings. And I'm editing up some a really interesting course actually for Abigail Hall at the moment. In fact, I can see she's just messaged me. So yeah, I've been working on a fascinating course for Abby Hall, which I'm sure she'll be sharing lots of information about in the coming weeks and months. So I am beavering away at that at the moment. So other projects I've got on at the moment include my virtual. So I'm doing virtual video sessions for people. I've got some. Actually, that's a good point. I've still got some slots for virtual video sessions for this month. So if there's a couple left, I think. So if anybody wants to hop on for a virtual video session this month, there's 2 left. So if you are interested in that, let me know, and I'll send you the link over, because they're still at the reduced price of £349, and that's including that. So yeah, there's a couple slots left for this month. And that's it, really. That was my call to action. There you go. Don't forget that, Tom. So really, what tonight has been about is I just want you to think about what value you can be delivering in your life for your audience. Think about that. What is that value exchange? What information are you giving for a little bit of attention? So I will see you next week for Content and Cocktails, and have a fabulous week. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.